Today, join me to sample EVA Air's business class aboard a flight from Seoul in South Korea to Taipei Taoyuan International Airport. It's a great flight. Welcome to another Callum Elston video. After an excellent trip to Seoul, the metropolis in South Korea, and a botched trip to head to the DMZ, I had a great time exploring this country, including Busan in the southeast. Truly recommended. However, it was time for the next part of my trip as I headed down to Taiwan. Today I'm flying on EVA Air, one of 3 major premium airlines from this island nation. EVA Air are part of Star Alliance, China Airlines, not to be confused with the mainland's Air China, is part of SkyTeam, and Starlux, the newest upstart of the island, is not yet part of an alliance, but is rumoured to join oneworld, especially considering their close partnership with Alaska. It's even more bizarre that there's so many premium airlines here, considering the population is just shy of 24 million people. Truly amazing. Today's flight is flying from Seoul Incheon International Airport, which isn't actually in the city of Seoul itself, but in the neighbouring city of Incheon. Seoul actually has 2 major airports, Gimpo, which is more like London City, and Incheon, which is more like London Heathrow in terms of comparison. Today's flight will be taking place from Terminal 1, the home of Star Alliance partner Asiana Airlines. It's not the most modern terminal at this airport, that award belonging to Terminal 2, home of Korean Air. However, it still looks super modern, and there's loads of these techie bits here, like this automated luggage cart mover. I arrived really early for my check-in, so I did have to wait quite a while for it to open. We were soon through and back onto airside. The Asiana business class lounges are not that great. It's an okay place to relax before your flight, and there's actually 3 of them dotted throughout this terminal, and they're all quite large with plenty of light flooding through the windows. The food buffet offering was poor. Instant noodles were the only hot food on offer. The other hot food was mostly cold by the time it came out. The spaces itself was actually okay. Some parts of it were reminiscent of your nan's front living room. There were plenty of seating options, and I particularly liked these private booths looking over the tarmac. There's also plenty of spaces to sit with your friends and family and chill out maybe a little bit. I spent most of it in the buffet area. You might decide to come in one of these places. And here is an armchair area looking towards one not very big TV with Korean television playing. I did check out the bathrooms. They're quite large, decent showers, and amenities are available. They're pretty decent for what they are, and they provide you hair gel of all things. Definitely could do providing you deodorant instead. So it was time to head towards our plane, an A330 operated by EVA or EVA Air, part of the Evergreen Group, who are massive shipping magnates. Today we were departing from Gate 32, part of the Priority Group that joined the plane, because today I'm actually in their Royal Laurel, awful name, business class. They've actually got a dedicated jet bridge, which is quite uncommon to see nowadays. The crew very swiftly welcomed me aboard as I sampled a very empty 222 configured business class. Some viewers may recognize this from Qatar Airways on some of their older aircraft. They have a very similar setup on some of their A330s. This cabin has been finished in this cool and modern looking grey colour schemes, and this aircraft is only really used on regional flights. The headrest bends in a couple of directions and goes up and down for greater comfort. We began the service with a small glass of water and a refreshing wet towel. To the left of my seat there's the little remote control, a USB port which was pretty slow, and a headphone jack. In the middle there's a couple of reading lights, 1 per each passenger. Again, another shot of them screens. Annoyingly, it's not gate-to-gate entertainment. A plump and plush pillow is provided, along with these excellent, very Etihad-esque blankets. Here's the quite dated seat controls, which do show the age of the seats, but they do work perfectly fine. And as with many Asian carriers, even on this short hop, slippers are provided as I magically put on them. They were really comfy and big enough for my size 10 feet. Here's some of the literature pocket items. I think this is duty free, and then you've also got the obligatory safety card. On this flight today it was actually quiet, which made filming a breeze, which is always welcome. Off to the toilets now, and you've got these really bright, really smartly dressed up toilets, you know, with a bit of flowers there, and these lovely pale amenities, and this one from Aqua Colonia. Nice touches, and really for a short haul flight, it's really excellent. And now it's time to take off. We sampled the rather wacky safety video from the airline, which was attention grabbing, but I can imagine it getting pretty annoying over time, and I don't see how electronic devices are represented here. So one thing I would be interested to know is, what do you actually think of these takeoff sequences? I did ask in the community tab a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure I really like them. Do you want me to keep them? Should I get rid of them? Please drop a comment down below as to what you think. You can see a couple of older jets here which were mothballed from the pandemic, and now we would just begin our flight service to Taipei Taoyuan International Airport. Now we're flying across a rather foggy, maybe smoggy Seoul. You can see the bridge over into Seoul just there. Now we can actually start the interesting part of this flight, the service. A largish entertainment screen can be seen straight ahead. There's no privacy filter, so you can see what your companion next to you is watching. The entertainment system is called Star Gallery, and it is quite dated. It's not very laggy like some systems. When you're touching around, you can see that it's pretty dated. The selection of content is okay, not the best, certainly not Singapore Airlines levels. It's more than good enough for a flight of this length. Music is also available, as well as lots of Taiwanese and Mandarin language content. Mapping is the non-interactive version of Voyager 3D, which may disappoint some av geeks. You can also control the screen from this touchscreen remote control, which is a bit easier than touching the screen itself. And it works pretty much in the same way with the same bad design. You can also watch one thing on the screen at the same time as watching something on your remote, such as the map. One thing that EVA Air have really invested in is these excellent Thunder noise cancelling headphones, and they look really premium, and they're a great option even if I don't recognise the brand itself. They're almost as good as, say, a Bose or a Bang & Olufsen, and I would really recommend that if you're flying EVA Air in business class, you really don't need to bring your own headphones. When you're actually ready to go into lay flat mode on these short flights, you can just drop this armrest down to add a bit of extra space to stretch out. It takes a good minute to go into lay flat mode, and you can do this both sitting down and standing up. The latter makes it a bit easier. The foot cubby is not that restrictive in what you would expect, and there's plenty of space to move around. Up at the head end, there's a bit less space, and it can feel a bit constricted across the shoulders, especially if you've got wider shoulders. When you're on these short hops from Taipei or to Taipei, you're probably not going to worry too much about that, because unless you're on a red eye, you're probably not going to get much sleep. You have a very large table that flops out there, and I've tested it there, and I actually had both open because the passenger next to me, there was nobody there, and they do have quite a nice setup for a short flight of this length. The starter consisted of a prawn with a sort of rice item and a salad leaf. There wasn't much salad to speak of. The presentation was really good, and it showed that the cabin crew cared about how it was presented, even if it came on a tray. And this came served with garlic bread and a nice olive roll. Alongside this, I had a glass of Castelnau champagne, which they kindly let me take a video of. EVA Air put a lot of emphasis into the design and delivery of their food and beverage service, with these lovely little stone-inspired salt and pepper pots and the design on that EVA Air napkin holder, as well as the EVA Air stamp on the cutlery. The main was tasty. It was a beef in soy sauce dish. Felt very similar to a dish I had from Taipei to Hong Kong in economy class. I might be wrong. It was quite a substantial and very tasty dish, however it didn't feel the most premium. And then for dessert, I had this pistachio and chocolate sponge cake. Very tasty, not the most memorable, but for a short haul flight, really good quality. In all, I'd probably say a good solid 7 out of 10 and a really good espresso to finish it off. And yes, I did decide to use the hot towel to wipe my face, which I know I shouldn't do. And with that, the flight was almost over, because this is only a very short flight down to Taiwan. While they weren't the most conversational crew, they were really attentive and helpful, and they were very good at what they did. EVA do have the opportunity to compete very well with Asian competitors such as Cathay or Singapore Airlines. Not quite as good as the latter, but still a really solid, really excellent competitive offering. The seat is dated compared to your long haul cabin that they provide. This is a regional business class, and it is a really good business class for these up to 4-hour flights that they do. And the main question is, would I fly them again? And that is a really solid 100% yes, I would fly them again. Whether it's on a short haul business class flight like this, I would do it. And I actually subsequently flew them on their Hello Kitty jet in economy class another year later. But I would really love to try them on a long haul flight, perhaps into their flight to Bangkok from London. They really impressed me in what they offered. Have you flown EVA or EVA Air to Taipei or from Taipei in business class? Please drop me a message down below. Tell me what you thought of it. I'd love to hear how you found the experience yourself. Did you find it was almost as good as mine, or perhaps you have a different opinion? I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching this Callum Elston video. I really appreciate you watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss on my exciting future videos. I'm almost there on monetization, so I really appreciate you watching. Thank you. I will see you again soon. Bye bye.